Okay, guys, today we're going to judge the crap out of one of the most judgmental people on TV, the white-collar Jerry Springer. I'm talking, of course, about Dr. Phil. I actually studied psychology in school, and a lot of my professors would go on and on about how awful this guy is. He's not a real therapist, and he brings the whole industry down by acting like a total blowhard. So I'm going to start today with this clip I found of him ganging up on some 23-year-old. Apparently this kid is done with school now, and his grandmother he lives with is frustrated with his laziness because he doesn't have a job yet. I've got to say I have sympathy for this kid and his situation, though. I remember being 23 and trying to figure out what you want to do as a career goes, and you've got the parents expecting you to take on the whole world by storm. Sometimes these things just take time, and he tries to explain his side, but everyone just acts very dismissive towards him. Let's take a look.
Wants me to get a job to make her nag.
What are you doing to get a job?
Putting applications out, calling them. I put out 16, I counted, before I came to the show.
I love how the lady just condescendingly laughs at his claim, like, why are you laughing? If you know that he's lying, then call him out for it by all means, but don't just sit there and roll your eyes at him. What he's saying sounds perfectly fair to me.
I put out 16, I counted, before I came to the show.
The bearded dragon has probably filled out more job applications. I mean, no disrespect, but...
No disrespect. Gotta love that. No disrespect as I make jokes at your expense while I play canned laughter for my terrible joke. The kid has a bearded dragon, so this guy reached far and wide for that one. Apparently they call this guy a coach, and he's like Dr. Phil's sidekick when he needs extra help ganging up on people. You've got to appreciate the fact that this guy's giving people life advice. The bearded dragon probably does more crunches and eats less refined sugar too, pal.
Because you've admitted that you need to grow up, right?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I'm not the worst human in the world.
No one's saying you're the worst human in the world.
I know, and I'm completely calm right now.
Well, hey, sweetheart, I'm not worried about you being calm right now. You act like, hey, don't worry, I'm not upset.
Nice one, Dr. Phil, calling your patient sweetheart. A good dose of name-calling and ridicule is the cornerstone to any successful therapy session. The kid was probably letting them know he was calm to assure them that he was receptive to what they were going to tell him, because he's foolish enough to think that he's there for an actual real therapy session. But Philly boy over here is just like, I don't think you understand what we do here. He's calling him sweetheart. I'd love to see this kid suddenly grow hair on his chest and be like, hey, my name is Brandon. You are to address me only as Brandon. You got that, cue ball?
Let's take a look at whether you were being belligerent or not.
I'm not going to use their name, period. It doesn't matter who you give me to. So we have an impasse here. I'm going to put the onus back on you. You have my story, and my wife's story, you have Jill's story. That's an example of belligerent?
See, there you go. He loves to set it up so the audience can judge him, but I honestly wouldn't say he was being belligerent here. I mean, it seemed like a conversation where there was a lot of tension for sure, but those happen sometimes. We're big boys and we move on after those. He wasn't calling anyone names, but again, this is a show for people who love to judge other people, so we'll squeeze water out of rocks if we have to.
If a camera followed you around and took a snippet anywhere they wanted to, what would they say about you?
Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
I don't want to be wrong, would you?
I decided to let it pass you being rude and belligerent and abusive with my staff, but if you want to take that to task, we can, because you are a loudmouth bully.
Did you have the other side of that conversation?
Should you want to bully them, bully me, Buster.
Yeah, no, this is great therapy, Dr. Phil. I must have missed the lecture on challenging your patients to fights. I love that do you want to be right or do you want to be happy fallacy he always uses. It's such a cheap way to seem like you've won any argument. It's like, my happiness doesn't depend on me admitting to you that I was being belligerent. At least the man knows how to keep his crowd pumped, I'll give him that.
You say that you truly think it's the love story of the century,
I do, yes. I'm writing a book about it, actually.
but you've never physically met.
No, sir. And y'all can laugh at me. It's fine. I will be your spectacle.
I think we're just going to shut this down because I'm not into all this melodrama. You're saying the audience is making a spectacle out of you. That's not what I'm about.
That's not what you're about, really? Because I just watched you play canned laughter for the horrible jokes you made at your own patient's expense, and then challenge your other patient to a fight. Remember that Cash Me Outside girl? The Cash Me Outside girl literally challenged the whole audience to a fight, and he was just fine with keeping her on, keeping that situation rolling. But this girl, she's actually calling out the audience for what they are, which is a bunch of judgmental dull cows. And Phil starts sweating immediately because those are his cash cows, so he has to shut it down right away. Can't start giving your audience some much needed therapy or they'll cut this toxic crap out of their life right away.